Jessica here with House of Self, where it's all about goal setting, mindset, and positive energy. So, anxiety and meditation are two words that you would think probably don't go together. Well, at least for me, those two words did not go together a couple years ago. I have dealt with high anxiety attacks, and panic attacks most of my life as a young adult. I'm 42 now, and over the years, I have learned how to manage anxiety, and I've learned different tools and techniques to help keep it all in balance. One of the things that was suggested to me in my earlier journey learning how to deal and manage with anxiety was meditation. That scared the bejeebies out of me. No way did I want any part of sitting in silence, because that's amplifying everything going on in my head. To ask me to sit in silence was torturous. I was always seeking ways to distract myself. I was looking for outlets of distraction to all that chaos in my mind. Sitting still and just being alone in silence was traumatizing sometimes, I'll even say. It was not good. But I will say it took a very special person teaching me a little more about how to meditate as an individual who has anxiety. And that was a blessing for sure. So I've got a few small little tips that I'd like to share with you in case you are also full of anxiety or a naturally anxious person and sitting down quiet just makes you want to run. This might help ease you into meditation. Oh, and another thing I want to tell you that's a common misconception of meditation is that the goal is not to actually silence the mind. Our minds don't get silent. So lose all expectations of what it means to meditate. Let's go. All right. First, we need to take care of lighting. Bright lights are very overstimulating for everybody. It's a high energy vibe. And what we want to do is lower that energy some around us. You don't have to go pitch dark. You can if you want, but just bring the lights down a little bit. Let's do that now. So sitting in a very softly lit space will naturally soften everything else about us and around us and everything that's going on. It naturally gives the signal to our brains that it's time to just pull it in a little bit. So the first thing I recommend is finding a nice dim lit place that you're comfortable in, and eliminating really bright light sources if possible. As I said just a minute ago, lose all expectations of what it means to meditate, because that's just going to make you more anxious. And another common misconception is you have to actually silence your mind. A lot of meditation is not even about quietening what's going on in there. Our brains naturally constantly think. They're constantly working. You've heard the expression a lot, I need to shut my brain off for a minute. So we can't really turn off our brains. Our mind space, our brain, is designed to constantly think and formulate ideas. It's a very creative organ. What we can train ourselves to do when we sit is to practice letting those thoughts go. You have a thought that pops in your head, or you have a couple things jumping around in there, just picture them jumping on out. The visualization of things jumping out of my mind makes me laugh sometimes, but hey, well, that's what we have to do. The skill there is actually learning how to have that thought enter and allow it to go away. That's how we start training our mind to calm down. Understanding that it is okay to have that busy mind means you're very creatively healthy. Most people that have high anxiety or any elements of anxiety are very intelligent, creative beings. So you are phenomenally special. Anyway, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. We just need to learn how to train our minds a little bit better. That's just what I wanted to share with you to begin. Lower light, lower your expectations, allow your thoughts to come, and we're going to focus on breathing as well. Slow down your breath work. If nothing else, just slow down your breathing. One of my favorite breathing techniques, and there's so many of them. For myself, I've learned to listen to my own body rhythm. I like to take in a really deep breath for roughly 7 seconds. I hold it for about 5, and I release it for about 4. And I just do a rhythm that feels natural and comfortable for you. The whole idea is just slowing everything down. So take a couple really deep breaths. Hold it as you can. And then let it out. Do that a few times. Y'all, this is magical because when you let that out, you can feel all that hyped up energy leaving your body space. It's magic. And anybody can do it. I want you to know that it's okay to sit any way you're comfortable. Laying down is not recommended because you could fall asleep in it, but if that's your goal, lay down. You might have a good night's rest. So the very first thing I'd like you to focus on is just breathing. It's okay to hear what's going on around you. If you have sounds happening, or people on the streets, or kids cooking in the kitchen, whatever's happening, it's okay to notice those things. Sit in your space, focus on your breathing, and just, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. I love to do this, and I just listen, because when I'm listening to every single thing around me that's happening out of my room, out of my space, my thoughts stop, because all the chaos stops, because now I'm focused on something else, and that is okay. It's a healthy distraction. I'm listening to sounds, and what do they say when they put babies to sleep a lot? Let them hear white noise, let them hear sounds. There's so many sounds around us that are comforting, but we have to let ourselves open up and receive them and listen. So as you're sitting there and you're attentively breathing slow and deep, listen to what's around you. Take in all the sounds. Allow it to come in. Give it its permission to come into your ears, into your head space, and picture it leaving. I like to pretend I've got this receiving ear and my exiting ear, or with my thoughts, I've got thoughts that come in, and when they're coming down and they're getting in my mind space, when I exhale, I like to breathe them right back out. Just silly little hacks. These are silly little tricks that work. They really do if you give them a shot. So let's sit and let's breathe deep. No expectations. And I smile a lot when I'm meditating. It just feels so good. I can't help it. It just makes me happy. And I do have a very active mind right now. So something I am telling myself in my head as I'm saying this little thing. I hear you, thoughts. I welcome you, thoughts. I release you, thoughts. Thanks for coming to play. That's it. I welcome you, thoughts. I hear you, thoughts, and I release you. I hear you, thoughts. I welcome you, thoughts, and I release you. Then all of a sudden that becomes your repetitive mantra in your mind. There's no harm in those words. They're self-healing in the nature of giving yourself permission to release the chaos in your mind. So just being able to sit in a dim lit space and not have any expectations and even breathe deep and rhythmically, you're meditating. You're doing it. It's okay that your brain is loud. It's all right that you hear things. You're sitting and your body is still. That is so good for you, being somebody that has anxiety or someone that's prone to panic attacks. That physical stillness is so good for you to sit and just rest for a minute. One of the things I used to do as somebody that was full of anxiety almost all day, many days in a row, was I would keep my body busy, because if my body's busy, then my mind is busy, and I could avoid and detour the loudness in my mind. And that's not a healthy lifestyle. That's not good for anybody. It causes extreme physical fatigue, mental fatigue, burnout, and you have to learn how to just sit. And if just simply sitting is your first step towards working into longer meditation practices, do it. Just sit and be comfortable in that, because you're doing a good thing for yourself. There are some times where I've got heavy pressing things on my mind, and it causes me insomnia, and of course causes me to have more anxiety, because I've got big issues going on that I don't have solutions for, or I may not be able to solve these issues, and they bother me, and I think about it a lot. So sometimes I can't redirect those thoughts and let them go. Sometimes they sit heavy, and that's okay. It happens. We need to give our minds the opportunity to let go and release. And there's a little trick I like to do with this, and it's a lot of it has to do with visualization and having just a visual focal point. And I'll show you that right now. Be safe. If you're going to light a candle, I have to say, be safe. Be safe. Fire is very calming, and watching it is just, yeah, we're good. Okay. So watching a simple flame of a candle can be very hypnotizing sometimes. It can be very calming. The flame has a very gentle sway to it and a flow, and it kind of dances in this nice little rhythmic pattern, and it's good for our senses. It's good to watch it. And so sometimes when I sit and I meditate and I can't quite let these thoughts go, I need to give them the opportunity to go. So I focus on something that's distracting, but it's distracting in a good, beneficial way. It gives my mind something to look at where I can have a bit of an imagination and watch the dancing flame. And the act of doing that actually hushes everything else going on in my mind. So sitting down and just watching a candle flame is a form of meditation. And there's so many different forms of meditation. There's no right or wrong way, as long as it's benefiting you in the sense of stillness. You're being still, or you're redirecting your thoughts into something, relaxing. That's fine. So I'll sit, and I'm a hands-on person. I work with energy, so naturally I'm always feeling energy around me, and I'm very sensory sensitive. I feel the heat and its warmth. Be safe. Be safe. Let's not be silly with this and stick our fingers in the wax and do irresponsible stuff. That's not why I'm making this video. I'm trying to teach you how to use your senses to kind of pull everything in and quiet the mind. So we need to be safe. I like to feel that heat and watch the candle flame dance. And if it's a scented, this is vanilla, so I can smell vanilla. It's so relaxing. And if you've never meditated and you feel ridiculous or goofy doing it, I understand. These things are not natural for us that are prone to, being anxious. This is out of our comfort zone. So you need to find those little ways to make yourself comfortable with it. I have a little funny thing with myself sometimes. So like, okay, this is a candle therapy day because I just need to sit and I need to see the flame and I need to feel what's happening around it. It's a nice little energetic exchange between what's coming out of me and what I feel coming here. It's calming. So I'll just put this back here and hope that I don't catch my hair on fire. I think it's far away enough. It should be fine. I'll put it right here with my little bonsai tree. Yeah, there we are. So another thing, growing up being very anxious, I'm a fidgeter. I move my hands a lot. And something I learned here pretty recently was tapping. And I don't know, there's so many YouTube videos on tapping, and the benefits of, you know, pressure point tapping and stuff. And I'm just now getting a little bit deeper into that. And, so I don't beat myself up and worry about, am I doing it wrong? Am I tapping wrong? And I don't stress about like tapping in the wrong place. Like this is my body. If I want to tap my hands here and it feels good, I do it. And I highly believe in like touch therapy, okay? And this is something else. Sometimes I'll just, you know, sit in my space and I'll just tap on my pressure points. You know, there's things you can say too, you know, as you're tapping. There's a pattern, and I'm trying to memorize the pattern, but like I said, I'm still learning it all. You know, I get a little confused, and then I start feeling like silly. But I'm going to tell you this: if you're just starting out and you're trying to learn things, don't beat yourself up over it. You know, I know that this has always felt good for me. I'm a palm tapper. I discovered that learning about tapping. I always do this. I'm like, all right, okay. You know, that's my rhythm. That's my thing. I tap my palm. So when this is going crazy, I notice that some people are foot tappers. So this is me. This is what I do. So if you're going to start meditating and, you know, all these other meditation practices feel a little foreign to you and you're a palm tapper or you're a foot tapper, well, sit down and do it. Sit still, you know, and I like to count the rhythmic taps. That's how I quiet what's going on up here. I just start counting, you know, or I'll just start going with a little beat. You know, and that's a form of meditation too. Do whatever feels right for you, whatever creates that stillness, because even in stillness, there's motion. I know, like, how does that make sense? Even in stillness, there's still an energetic motion. So, if, you know, when we are high anxiety people, we are highly anxious. Motion is kind of comforting to us. Because when we stop, we feel out of our element. That's something I believe to be true. I've spoken with a lot of anxious people and lived half my life as being highly anxious. And I know that motion makes me feel good, but I also know I need that stillness. And I need to give my mind and my body the opportunity to let out and release that energy that is making me feel bonkers. So sitting and tapping, touch therapy, whatever feels good for you, just do it. So these are just some, I'm going to call them meditation hacks, because so many people have a misconception of what meditation is supposed to look like, is supposed to feel like, is, you know, certain ways it must be done. And I just want to wipe all that away. I just want to blow it away. In my opinion, the main purpose of meditation is to practice that stillness and allowing all the extraness to just leave your system. That's my professional description of it. Letting the extraness leave your system. And there's plenty of time to perfect that art of meditation and follow specific routes or specific guidelines or whatever you want to do. But we're just beginning. We're learning how to sit and be still. And if you're watching this video, I'm not being still, because being completely still now to this day makes me feel very uncomfortable. I always have something moving, and that's okay, because most of me has become very still and attentive, and my heart rate lowers, so the anxiety lessens, and I feel so much better, and I can get on with my day. Well, if you enjoyed these little tips, please share them. Subscribe if you'd like, and like the video. Much love to you all, and I'll see you in another video.